founding member of the double platinum 90s country group Little Texas. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Also a professor of music business at Belmont University.
That's right.
So I felt like today we can kind of do like a mini masterclass on the music industry and touch on a few of the different areas. But first, let's talk about Little Texas and
Sure.
What was that journey like?
Let me tell you something. It's just been, what's the song lyric? What a long, strange trip it's been. But actually, just a wonderful journey. You know, how two friends and two friends and two friends could come together and have a mutual love of the same kind of music and a burning desire to make our own version of it.
What was that? Was it country that you were inspired by?
Actually, yes. I mean, you know, I'm originally from Oklahoma, Ada, Oklahoma, which is a great place to be from. Wonderful town. You know, used to be name on the lines. You know, the Kiwanis Club and everything. And got the key to the city way back when. Until Blake Shelton's from there too.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like Well, he's a good one, and we're proud of him. So I gotta give him a holler, but. Ada, boy, a lot of folks have come out there. Reba's from not too far. Yeah. They're in Stringtown. A lot of folks have come out of Oklahoma. It's a great place. So being from there, and the other guys being from like East Texas, and the other two from like Southern Ohio, definitely had our roots in traditional country music. Yep. Especially the 70s, late 60s, 70s. So definitely country music, but more, I think, even the country rock, heavily influenced by like the Eagles, Pure Prairie League. I
got Eagles signed photo right behind your head up there. All of them. Don Henley too.
Don Henley. Well, look, I'll tie a little bow on this. So we're big Eagles fans, and that's really how we got together. You know, we had formed a little band that was playing just all kind of stuff. We would do a country set. We would do 80s rock set. It was a great training. This is after we moved to Nashville, and actually what got us to town was Opryland. That was me.
Oh, okay.
To back up a little bit, so I was going to school, and ostensibly on a music scholarship. Got a full-ride music scholarship, and it was very nice. Needed that scholarship to go to school. But it was a music education scholarship. And I just didn't, I mean, I had great band directors and choir directors that had such an influence on me, and I'm thankful for them every day. But the deal was, I didn't want to be a choir director or a band director. I wanted to write the music and play the music and sing the music. So I switched my major to pre-med chemistry. Okay. and loved it. You know, I really did enjoy it. But pre-med chemistry, and was on my way to med school, and all that journey. But still kept playing and singing, and that's when I started to drive from southern Oklahoma down to Arlington, Texas, where Six Flags Over Texas was, and I was doing live entertainment there. That's where I met Tim, our lead singer. And when we moved to Nashville, I graduated, and then had the opportunity to audition for and got a job at Opryland in the Country Music USA show, which was a cool thing. So Tim and I in the same show, and so we roomed together. And what a great place that was. I mean, Opryland, for those that don't remember it, it wasn't just a great theme park. I really miss it. But it was networking before we called it networking. That was the place. That was such a funneling point.
Oh, that's cool.
For all the talent and those that were really chasing it, not just the singers and dancers, but musicians. And I've known so many people that are still in town that are publishers and producers and musicians.
And it all stemmed from Opryland.
And that was the reason why they came, and that was the central focusing point of how they met and interacted, and eventually were able to launch their careers in different ways. And that's kind of what happened with us. And so there are two guys at the park who were Belmont, commercial guitar and commercial bass, Porter Howell doing probes, and then convinced him to join the band. And then a little bit later on, we started to travel further and further afield, and we saw the two other guys, Brady Seals and Dale Gray, who were friends from Southern Ohio, around Cincinnati, on the keys and drums. And so it really was organic. Yeah. And in a day and age when a lot of bands were, I'd say, a little less organic. they were somebody's idea. Let's go find somebody, put it together.
Put it together, yeah.
Kind of thing. And it was just great. They ended up making great music. But I'm saying we were just the opposite. We were just, hey, I know two guys and you know two guys.
Yeah.
And that's what we would do when we first got together is we'd sing Eagles songs because we loved it. That was the one, we had all the different influences and songs that we loved.
Sure, it gave you a chance to work on harmonies,
but
too.
we really congealed around Eagles. And nobody had to tell us what to do. We just jumped on our parts.
Yeah.
And it really was when we could gel on that kind of thing. We looked at each other and go, we really think we could do something here.
Yeah.
And a lot of hard work later and a lot of input from a lot of great people. But mostly just working ourselves to death. And over the next 3 years, and signed to Warner Brothers Records. And our first single came out in 91.
What was the big lever or breakthrough you had to get that first deal? Was it because of the live show you guys were doing?
Yeah, I think definitely because of the live show. Because we were always showmen.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something that you learn. There's no substitute for that.
Yeah.
Hours on stage and being in front of a crowd or no crowd. You learn a lot being in front of no crowd too.
Yeah.
And what we learned was we just entertain each other. And that came in handy because, as I recall, I can't recall the exact details, but there we were playing in, I think, a place in Birmingham, Alabama on some weekday night, probably early in the week, like a Tuesday or something like that. There's nobody. Who's in the bars on, the weekday, except the people they write the songs about, So there's a lot of hurting out there, I guess, but a few shadows, a few silhouettes, and we could have just forevermore taken the night off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just kind of, but we didn't. Yeah, you never know who's going to be there.
Yeah.
And always, no matter what your stage is or what your room is, you sing like your career depends on it.
Yeah.
And you perform, and and so we were always hoping that people would see us. But that's what happened. We got noticed. A&R Warner Brothers saw us, and then that was really the start of it.
Yeah.
Well, that was the next start of it.
And you guys are still touring.
Still are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do safely 70 dates, 65, 70 dates a year.
Yep.
Still at a very high level, and we're still very, very good and so thankful. The songs, that's honestly the most rewarding. Yes, I love, play in front of a crowd and they sing it back to you. Are you kidding? Yeah. People say, how does that feel? I'm like, it's great.
It's incredible.
You can't beat that. And it means so much to me that the songs have stayed around and become part of the songbook, so to speak. And to have had a hand in writing a lot of those is just very, very gratifying. And to see the crowd singing every word. And sometimes we'll just stop and let them sing. Mm-hmm. And to remember where we were or what sparked the idea and look around at each other like, how did this happen?
Where were you when you first heard one of your songs on the radio?
Okay. Oh, this was great. So we were in like Wichita Falls. See, in the old days, we spent like 3 years van and trailering Myrtle Beach to L.A. and back, and every little tin shed and honky-tonk in between. We played so much that I think it really helped us that when that first single was called "Some Guys Have All the Love." That was a single. It was released on my birthday, July 30th, 1991, which I guess was a good time. And I think what helped us a lot was we had played so much and so often all across the country that we had relationships with a lot of the radio guys, the DJs, of course, but programmers, who when finally got released, that's those boys play down at the thing all the time.
So you'd already built up a lot of awareness.
So it got awareness. And so it wasn't even released yet officially. But we had a great relationship, and I believe it was Wichita Falls. And we came in and go, hey, Warner Brothers, we had a relationship with that station and that DJ. They were great to us. We said, hey, here it is, but it's not released yet. But we wanted to show it to you. We're so excited. It's coming out in a few weeks or whatever. And they're like, okay, pulling for you guys. So we had a great on-air interview and can't wait and be looking for us. And we got back in that van and we were heading out to the next gig, and we were like half an hour out of town, listening to that station, and I'll never forget it. It was like, DJ comes on. Boys, I don't know if you're still in range or if you're still listening, but I can't help it. Here's the first single. Some Guys Have All the Love, Little Texas. And he starts playing it, and it was like that song jumped out the speakers. And I think we pulled over, you know, we pulled and just, we couldn't believe it, you know, and started thinking, because it's such a surreal feeling when you finally hear songs on the radio or to hear them back. And, you know, what started in your head is now
and to see the dream fully realized. You've been putting in 3.5 years, you said, and then
really hard work, really hard by everybody involved.
The radio promo team at the label, were they excited that you guys got it on the air?
Well, they were, I would say.
Did it mess up their marketing role?
You know, look, they were great at Warner at that time, a lot of great acts and everything, and you know, they threw us out there. It was in an era when, you know, a lot of times they would just throw out a single on an act and just see how it did.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's just kind of like throwing mud against the wall, see what sticks. And so they threw it out there. I don't know what their expectations were. You know, I'm sure they're happy that it did well, but I'm sure that they were ready for, well, boys, we tried, and, you know, it's great, and let us know how it's going.
Right.
But we called it the little song that could. Because a little thing, you know, songs were really quick back then. You know, it'd get up and down the charts, you know, pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so, but this little thing, you know, it cracked the top 40. We were like, yeah, you know, and then 1-2 spots. And then the next week, I don't know if we're going to make it one spot. And then climb the little chart. If you understand how radio charts worked, especially at that time, was, you know, Monday was radio day. Where is it? Did we go up? We still got the bullet. We're losing it. And that little thing, just like juggle, here it comes.
Can you
so many weeks later.
Can you talk about the bullet, though?
Yeah.
Because when I first heard that phrase, what was it, from a Fall Out Boy song, and they say the line, it's climbing with a bullet. And then I saw some clip of David Allan Coe talking about what that was. I had no idea. Can you talk about the bullet?
Well, a little bit.
And do we still use it?
Charts are they're different.
Yeah.
We have streaming charts, and we have download charts, and we have all kind of things. But in our era, you know, early 90s radio, that was the social media of the day. And, I mean, especially in country music, you lived and died by the radio.
Yeah.
And you had to be there, so we're anxiously waiting. But the bullet, as I understand it, we always understood it as like, it's really got momentum. It's really going up the charts, like, pooh, you know, flying up the charts, you know, 3 and 4 spots at a time, you know, with a bullet. It's really got a lot of moment, a lot of ads, and how you move up the charts is getting more and more stations to play.
Right.
And so, and upping the number of times a day that they play, your rotation, going from light to medium to heavy rotation. And the trick to getting a number one song at that time, and I think, you know, pretty much still is to get all of the big stations to play your song in heavy rotation all at the same time. And that's a trick. You know what it's like? It's like the old vaudeville act where the guy's got the plates on the sticks.
Yeah.
Well, you get the plates on the sticks, right? You spin a stick and you get the plates all spinning. And some station that loves you and you had a great relationship, they jumped on it early. They've been playing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're going, please, you've got to stay on this record, you know. And then the other ones that are new, it's still climbing. So it's a lot of, you know, I admire the radio promo folks.
Spinning the plates on the stick is such a great analogy, I think, just for an artist trying to survive the music industry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things. You know, everybody starts out doing everything. You know, doing it all. And you know what? It's also, it's a blessing and I think a bit of a curse. But the blessing part is it's never been more possible for an artist to create their own stuff, record their own stuff, produce their own stuff, get their own stuff mixed, have their social media pages. We know the power of that. It's a power that we did not have. Our social media was that van and trailer. We had to do it analog to build the audience, right? And and that really is the trick now. But it's never been more possible for an artist to write your stuff, perform your stuff, play your stuff, mix the stuff, get the stuff out there. Now the trick is, so much stuff is being released and is out there. It's now, how do you stand out?
Yeah.
You know, Now that it used to be, and I'll talk about this in class a lot. It used to be in our day when we came out, there were several million people, artists, that wanted to be on 3 or 4 labels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now there's just 3 or 4 million labels because everybody is able to various degrees, make their own stuff and material and release it. The trouble is now is how does the world know you've released a record, and that becomes the challenge of piercing through all the noise and everything. And number one piece of advice I would give to artists out there is like, hey, new day, labels aren't signing artists anymore; they're signing audiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what does that mean? Hey, people are tending to listen with their eyes first, and they're looking at those numbers because they're looking for potential customers.
Mm-hmm.
They want someone with an audience already. Yeah. And that's really, see, A&R, which stands for Artist and Repertoire, still exists, but that was the department at the label that would work creatively with the artist. And there was a thing not that long ago, but it's kind of phased out now, called artist development, where the label would sign you to a small development deal.
Yeah.
And spend some money, but not like major money.
Yeah.
Typically to get some better recordings and to get you with a producer that they knew and to see what they got. So they got like an apples to apples kind of comparison. The deal is now that burden's shifted. Mm-hmm. That has shifted from the label to the artist. They expect you to come in, pretty well cooked.
Yeah.
It's still embryonic and still will work. But a pretty good sense of self, an image and your music and who you are, and they want to see that audience.
Yeah,
they want to see the audience.
Because the way I always think of labels, especially now, is they're the bank that you're going to take a loan from.
Good analogy. I think that's not that inaccurate, nor do I think that's a knock.
No, I don't either.
It's like we tell the students this, think of the labels as very, very specialized banks, and they look at underdeveloped properties. It's like a real estate venture. Yeah. And through their expertise and knowledge of the market and what's going on, they can go, you know what this is? This whole thing is flip my artist. It really is.
Flip my
artist. That goes
artist.
from artist management, selling records, the whole bit, flip my artist. It's, it's a diamond in the rough. Mm-hmm. Spotting that talent early. And now it's not, there's a diamond mine in Arkansas. You heard of it? It's like folks from Arkansas know what I'm talking about. And what it is, it's the diamonds in this little park, say park or something. Some of them are very close to the surface. And you can pay your daily fee and take your bucket and your shovel and just go play in the dirt, basically. Mm-hmm. And it makes the news, a couple times a year. Somebody finds a 2-3 carat diamond. Yeah. It was just laying there. And the reason why it was laying there is because you look at these things, it doesn't look like a diamond. Yeah. It looks like a misshapen little peanut, dirt clod kind of thing, because it's not polished up. It hasn't been, that thing now, there's potential in it. Yeah. But it's still not worth all it can be. It needs expertise, it needs guidance, and it needs somebody to take that and see the better diamond in it. It might even be worth more money if we cut it in two and shape them into these things. And they got to know what the market is. So you need expertise in the diamond cutter, and then you got to get it to the, you know what I mean? All these experts can turn that dirt cloddy looking rock thing into something that is cherished and adored and worth far more. And it's very much like the talent of someone that's just starting out. Everybody wants to be discovered. Yeah. I get it. I know. I would dream of that, being discovered. The deal is you want to be ready to be discovered, because now more than ever, the social media, the internet, all of these things, it's great and terrifying, because at the same time it is instantaneous and permanent at the same time. Yep. And so you kind of need to be ready to go to do your trick. If anybody's done any theater, you better hit your mark. Like, it's black stage, and the cue is stand on your mark because the spotlight's coming on. Mm-hmm. Very embarrassing, bad form if you miss your mark.
Yeah.
Because once that spotlight comes on, you need to be ready to do your trick.
Right.
And that's what I tell the artists, man, just don't be in such a hurry for your career to fizzle because you weren't quite ready yet.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've seen that happen a lot with, they're blowing up on TikTok or whatever platform, so they have the audience built in, but they can't translate to the stage.
Yeah. Or to really take advantage, to exploit that attention, because we're in an attention economy.
Yeah.
It's worth a ton. And so we need to be ready to exploit because, once you get that breach in the wall, so to speak, we need to be ready to charge through it.
Yeah.
Because we might not get that opportunity again. I think, hey, that's a marketing plan for some, and I'm not downing it. It's been successful to different degrees.
Yeah.
Going viral and blowing up, like, where have you been? Kind of a TikTok thing. Mm-hmm. And everybody goes, that's great. And, there have been songs that have been done great and been the basis of launching some careers that have then been able to be sustained and carry on. But wow, I think those numbers of the success are dwarfed by those that got a little attention and we didn't have the infrastructure around them. We didn't have the follow-up. We didn't have, and we were caught unawares. And so, I don't know. I said, I would hope that an artist, as much as they want to get out there, and I know what that dream feels like. I can still feel it today. Well, but I know what that's like, and I know I want to get out there. I want to be, and I want people to love my music, and I want people, yes, I know how you feel, but be ready to go and have more to offer them. There's a better artist in you than is sitting there right now.
And that's actually a great point. If you think of all the great superstar level acts, they get better and better over time.
I think
and,
so.
They're changing their sound, they're changing their image, they're constantly evolving and growing as an artist.
I believe so. I think that's part of your job. Mm-hmm. I think that's part of or more part of the gig is, your audience is growing along with you. You become the soundtrack of their life.
Yeah.
I did so many artists that I grew up listening to, that was the dream. If I could make music like that, or I remember where I was when I heard that, or that really applied to this part of my life. And it's so gratifying to hear people come to tell us what songs of ours have meant. And
me driving around in the car, listening to country, you guys were on the radio. Yeah. Your hits are ingrained in my brain. Amen. Like, I know the melodies.
Amen.
Yeah. So
that means so much. Hey, circle back. Speaking of, big Eagles fans that we were. Mm-hmm. Well, can you imagine the thrill? Because our little records, Baby Act, this little single, eventually went number 6, or was it top 5? Back then we had several charts. It got it way up to the top 10. Very successful. And we're on our second or third, our first handful of singles. We get a call at the management office from Don Henley, which, it's like my little dream was, oh, Lord, please, one day, can I meet like the Eagles, little infant opera? And God's like, oh, yeah, watch this. And so Don Henley calls, or his people, and invites us really wants us to be part of this project called Common Thread, Songs of the Eagles. And what it was is when was this, like 93, 2, 3, early 90s. And along with a lot of great, look, I can't name them all, man, but it was Alan Jackson, it was Vince Gill, it was Clint Black, and on down the list. And we were like the baby act on this thing. But he asked us to do it. And what a thrill that was. And it was to raise money for Walden Woods, which, to try to help that.
What's Walden Woods?
It was, I believe it was where Thoreau's, did a lot of his writings, wrote about about the woods, and it was just a natural area they wanted to try to keep natural and to fight development. So that was the cause, and we're like, well, sure, we'd love to help out. Yeah, I mean, you had me at "Hi, I'm Don." You know, that's
What song did you cut for it?
We ended up doing "Peaceful, Easy Feeling."
Okay.
Which one of my favorites of all time, and the biggest thrill. My role in the band has always been predominantly the harmonies, the high harmonies. I would sing a lead or two, a record maybe, but it was a real thrill because on that song I got to sing the lead on that thing, and the whole time I'm sitting there I was like, please just don't let me screw this up, and to do the best I could, and it turned out well, man. I think the guys did a really good job on it, and so it did well. That song got airplay, and so much so that it got on our greatest hits album.
Oh, there you go.
And funny story about that. We're gonna sing that song on TNN, which was the Nashville network. It was around for a long time, and it really was the Music City Tonight. It was like the Tonight Show of country music, and we're going to be on that. And I mean, there's a lot of people watch that show, and I was nervous. We were all kind of nervous because guess what? Don Henley was going to be there because he had sung he had a song out. He'd sung with Trisha Yearwood called "Walk Away Joe" at about this time.
Yep.
They were talking about that and to talk about, and she did a great job on that Common Thread record with her cover. And so they were going to talk about that, but he was going to be there. Can you imagine that? We're going to sing this live, and Don Henley's going to be sitting like you are to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not fair, And so we're in the dressing room, and behind the thing, and we're just practicing "Peaceful, Easy," trying to get the harmonies right, calm down a little bit. And if you've ever been around a theater setting or a show, there's always people, with the clipboards and the headsets, and they're making sure everybody's on time. So, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. Peaceful, easy, 10 minutes. Fine. I'm getting really, personally just really wound up. So finally, another knock on the door. Bam, bam, bam. I kind of lost it. Not bad, but I kind of just looked at that door and went, what? Hey, guys, how you doing? And it's Don Henley. I just want to say, appreciate you being a part of the project. And I got to talk that way because everything he says is so cool because he's got that voice. And I think the kids will understand this. I instantly became like Squidward at the Bubble Bowl. The ba-ba-ba. I couldn't even talk. I was like, Don Henley, hey, guys, I really appreciate it. He was so nice, so gracious to us. He really was. So supportive, like, I appreciate it. And I'm just like, hi. So now I'm really shaking. So he goes back, all right, I'll see you after the show. And he goes out. So now it's time, we're going to guitars on, and here they are, Little Texas. So we sing this, and I'm looking at Don Henley's and Trisha's silhouette, like 12 feet away. And it was just surreal. I like singing in front of people. You do that for 30 years. Give me people, love people. But to sing to a red light in a studio audience is really tough.
Yeah.
And a real audience of one, it was just really, I'm like, oh, please, So much so that to this day, I remember going, I like the way, and not much.
And then you blacked out.
Until on the ground, and like, what happened?
Yeah.
And so, all right, we'll be right there. Thanks, Little Texas, and we'll be right back. So we go back in the green room. And a long story. I'm trying to cut it short. But we go back in the green room, right? And I'm like, trying to calm down. I got the TV. Now we're watching. Now it's time for Don's interview on the couch with the host. And the host is going, so Don, how's it feel? Have all country artists, doing your songs? And he's so cool, man. I'm sitting there. He goes, well, it's backstage before the show. I'm like, oh, no. Don Henley's going to call me out for yelling. He goes, and I heard Little Texas, warming up, doing the vocals. And I'm like, oh, no. He goes, and I got to admit, it reminded me of us.
Oh, that's high praise.
And I, like Chevy Chase and Caddyshack, just wanted to fall over. And my great thing is, get me that tape.
Yeah.
Because I cannot tell you, it was very gracious of Mr. Henley to say. And to know what an influence and what they meant for him to even be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
was just such a bow on top of everything that was going on at that time. Even though it was like getting on a rocket sled, it was still like, can you believe this is,
Yeah.
And that was just the biggest thing. And that album went on to be CMA Album of the Year that year.
That's awesome.
So happy
And
to
then
be a
Vince
part of
Gill
that.
joins the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Vince joined you. I love Vince. It's your prayer league. Let me love you tonight.
Yeah.
Vince, man, he's great. Now he's an Eagle.
Yeah.
God.
Crazy. Let's do a little rapid fire mini masterclass on some areas of the music biz. Let's start with, well, you brought up artist development a bit ago. The one area that I'm kind of seeing artist development happening right now is in the publishing area. Are you seeing that too?
Yes, it's been that way for say, several years. As Groundswell started, is the publishers. Quick review of the publishing business. We got to have songs cut, recorded, released out there in movies, television. We got to have them generating revenue. So we need cuts. We want to be on records. We want to have radio hits, and so our writers, staff writers, songwriters, write. You know how many songs are written a day?
Oh, in this town? Jeez.
And the ones that they wrote last week aren't so bad either, and the week before that. So it's a numbers game that is just, and everybody wants to be on those top records that are really selling, really streaming, really doing well. So the competition is just fierce. So it's really, really difficult to get songs, what we call outside songs, written by writers, pitch them to artists, and get them to cut them. It's just really, really hard. So, because we're pitching, trying to get like 10 songs cut on other artists.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another way to do it is to you sign so many artists are writing their own songs legitimately. They're songwriters and very talented artists, and so you go, hey, artist writer, we want to sign you, and then write songs with the best writers in town. Spend a little bit more money than we would on demos, so they're dual purpose. They're showing off the song and they're showing off you as an artist. And using their clout, influence, relationships with the labels, many of the biggest publishers are affiliated with the big labels. Warner, you got Warner Chappell, and then you got Sony Publishing, UMG. And just use those relationships to get their songwriters signed as recording artists.
So almost as like they're in the game of let's try to create upstream opportunities for the artists, artist writers that we're signing.
Yeah. So let's home grow our own artist. And so with that, we have now signed artist who now cuts 10, 12 songs. And so we get that. So it's been employed for a while now. Very, very effective. If you're legitimate artist pathway and have the talent level to reach that and are a writer too, often that is the conduit, is through publishing.
Yeah.
Because listen, publishing to the folks out there, some people might send their songs in, hoping that someone will listen to them,
right?
Maybe get them to the artist. That is just a near impossibility.
It would have to be a damn good song.
Once a generation, maybe. Well, here's the deal. It's not only, it's kind of, you're putting sort of legal jeopardy. Here's why, because it's unsolicited material, and publishers in town, they got their writers, and if they get a song from somewhere and somehow somebody could claim, hey, you got my song, and so they just pretty much have to discard that. And it sounds cruel and mean, but so it's just
from
such
a legality
an impossibility.
standpoint, it makes a lot of sense.
It does. You just have to, they have to protect themselves and their writers. So we need to get our artists, and talking to artist managers out there, your relationships are your stock in trade. You have to have relationships with publishers, with writers, because you want to write up, not down. You want to write with better writers, like athletes. You want to play with better athletes than you to get better. So you want to write with the highest caliber, get in the best rooms that you can with these writers, because songwriting is like the gym. You get better. Now, some are naturally better and stronger, to keep the analogy going, but you can always get better.
Yeah.
And to learn these things, and how many songs you got to write. to come up with a 10, 12-song album. You don't write 13.
Right. Yeah.
And the reason why that is, you write songs 1 through 8, and song 9, hey, where's that been? Now here you go, go do that.
Yeah.
And now song 9's the new bass line. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Where's this been all my life? Now 14 is it's always, and we heard this from the Eagles. It's like beat the song.
Yeah.
You find the song. There's the bass line. Now beat the song, beat the song, beat the song, beat the song. And so you end up having 50, 60, something more than that to get those ones. And people ask me all the time, how do I know I'm ready? How do I know I'm ready to release? When you've got the body of work, the songs themselves, not just the way they sound, but the songs themselves that I am willing to live or die, whatever happens in my career with these songs.
Yeah.
Then I'm ready to go. When you can legitimately get to that point, because it's where most projects, in my experience, tend to fall apart, or the weak link is in the songs and the quality of songs. And I'm not down at songwriters. Listen, get your bad songs out the way. Go ahead. If you write your best songs first, what?
Yeah.
What freak of nature is that? That's
right.
Go ahead. And I'm telling myself, because I try to do this as a discipline, something, an idea every day, a snippet every day, something to keep the
gears greased.
Keep it, you're creative, because that's a songwriter. That's our lifeblood, is playing with the language.
Yeah.
And observing. How do you write? Watch.
And listen.
How do you sing? Listen. Right, and just become an observer of culture and of people, and feeling it. As a professional songwriter, we can't wait for feeling. We can't wait for inspiration. We got to be able to write on on demand and draw on this reservoir feeling that we've already got, hopefully. But songwriters, man, we need to feel first and feel most, I think, because what we're really selling, when you get down to it, what is this? What did we just buy in the music business? What is our basic unit of commerce? And it's the song. You say it all begins with a song. You've seen the bumper stickers. I'd like to think it all begins with a songwriter, myself. Yeah. But that's what we're selling. When you get down to it, what we're buying, the songs that we love, the music that we gravitate with, it's a feeling. It's the way it makes us feel.
It's an emotional connection.
It speaks either to us or for us. And most of the time, it's these truths. The better the writer, the better way that they relate to us. And what they tell us is not something that's so brand new we never thought of that. It's something that we always knew was true. We've just heard it put that way. And we go, bingo.
Yeah.
And your inner compass and that song, you line up, ding, 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 ding. And it's like a heart, mind, wallet connection.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're in the music business.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're buying. We're buying that emotion. And fortunately, to tie it back around to us or to a lot of acts that have been around a while, it's so gratifying now to see new generations discovering our music. We see them every week. Young folk, the different age groups sitting there during the show. We'll see the folks that are our age and right and all that. Oh, we're still pretty young, we started young. So we're not like, we're not doing it in a walker, but what's really gratifying is to see the folks that have come along with us the whole way. And they're singing every word, and that's gratifying. But then you'll see of a whole different age group, younger. And I will, during the show, just part of the arrangement, I'll just launch in on acoustic. I'll just do a lot of the intros. We'll just launch in on intros, while we're talking. Why talk over dead air, right? We learned that from radio. Just start the intro, then talk and introduce. So I'll launch into an intro of a song. And I will see younger generations, I'm talking high school, college, who elbow their friend and go, this is that song.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. The crowds don't think I'm watching you back, but I really am. I'm watching you going, okay? And they will sing every word. And if I get the chance, when I do, since COVID, it's changed a lot of showbiz and protocols and things. A lot of festivals, the meet and greets and things. But when I do get a chance, to meet folks. And I'm like, okay, you were singing every word. How do you know these songs? Your parents? And I was like, well, no.
How did you discover it?
They say there's a new station opened up a couple of towns over or something. It's a very typical story. And all they play is 90s.
Oh, okay.
They
Yeah.
almost like stop at the year 2000. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah. It's a very growing format. It has been for the last several years. Just because of that sound, that era, that 90s has become a thing.
Yeah.
Much like 60s had a sound and had all different kinds of stuff going on. And so it was very gratifying. So proud that we were part of that era and all up in that mix and that sound that is still very much in demand.
Transcending
today.
generations. That's awesome.
And to circle back again, I'm still writing. I get in great rooms with extremely talented young writers and who are just doing great and very gratifying when they say, very gratifying. They say, "Oh, that song or this song, man, you guys, the thing," and I'm like, "That's very, very nice." And what they're wanting is that special sauce to bring that, they bring the young guy down. I'm like, most of my time in writing sessions, I play goalie a lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to like, look, I know how I'd say it, but let's just see, isn't it right? And everything, and then I'll get my turn of a phrase. But then they'll like, how do we make this sound? Long story short, it's great to be able to bring 35, 36 years of experience, and not just in music, but in life.
Yeah.
And how you grow. I mean, gosh, I'm so blessed. My wife and I are celebrating. I better get this math right.
Yeah. It's being recorded.
22, this is 33 years
There you go.
of marriage. Been together 36. 2 boys, so proud of them. One is getting his doctorate at Vanderbilt and BNP, and the other is getting his MBA and his client services and royalties at BMG. So I'm so proud of them both, and I'm just so blessed and thrilled to have been able to make not just a living in the music business, but a life in the music business.
And a lasting impact too, I would say, right?
I would hope so.
Let's touch on management a little bit.
Okay.
So, artists they'll think there's certain levers. It's a label deal. That's going to be the thing. A manager. I need a manager. That's going to be the thing. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things going on at once that really helps an artist take off. But when it comes to management, something that's bubbled up over the past, 10 years is the management consultant. You have that style of manager who works on a retainer situation, and then you have the commission-based managers. And I think sometimes they can be a little more incentivized to run through walls for their acts that they believe in. 15 to 20% commission. Is that accurate?
Industry standard for a solo artist is 15%. It can be 20%. And we need to be very careful about of what, though. It's of gross entertainment income.
Yeah.
So especially early on in an artist's career, they might be having to pick up shifts at the coffee shop. We got to fund our fund, so we might have to do another job. But that's not necessarily entertainment income. So we got to be careful there. But 15 to 20%. You know what? Sometimes it can even be 25. But now that's getting way up there. To ask for and get 25 is a name recognition, world class. I mean, your resume is Billboard magazine kind of a manager. So let's be careful there. But industry standard 15, and commission basis. That other arrangement of a paid consultant. It's like, I don't know. I really want to reserve judgment on that. I've never worked under that situation. I've known very few folks that have, and I'm just saying from my limited perspective on that, I've not seen great success from that, at least for artists.
Early stage, though, I can see how it could be beneficial. Right?
Early stages, at least get someone who has some experience to tell me, to have a consulting thing. Here's my material, here's my thing. What do you suggest? What are some marketing ideas. How do I get to the next level? Sure. I mean, I get that. Almost like getting legal advice, you know, expert legal advice. And so I get that. I just, the commission basis is almost like we got more skin in the game.
Yeah.
And we work, you know, alongside and yeah, because the quick math is, you know, 15% of 0 is, let's see, carry the one. 0.
Yeah, still 0, yeah.
So managers are working so hard and on spec for quite a while. And I mean, for most artists, and the belief and the faith and the pushing hard and I think is part of that magic.
I heard a real interesting deal. Doc McGee, when he went to manage Kiss, they negotiated that his commission comes off of the net, not off the gross. But at that time, Kiss had the ultimate leverage power.
Yeah.
You know, in that situation.
First off, Kiss has, very successful, has the leverage. Most of the time, well, in the scenario of a new artist with an experienced manager, like I say, you want to sign up, right? We want to be managed by, what do we want in a manager? We want experience, we want track record of success, we want
relationships.
Relationships, you can take me, all these things. And so they would have the leverage. And so the management deal is going to be manager friendly just because of the leverage advantage there. But Kiss, oh, come on.
Yeah.
You know, they can sit there and go, that's hilarious. Hey, let me tell you how it's going to be. So they could negotiate something off the net. But you know what? Even when you're talking to the net, and for those folks that know, gross is before expenses and net is after. Boy, is there a big difference between gross and net, especially for a touring artist.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say, we're going to play a show for, give me an even number, 10 grand at this place, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, 10 grand, 15%, we could do the math on our fingers and toes. $1,500. So the commission manager comes off the gross. But wait, the act has not even gotten on the bus yet, gotten the diesel yet, had the flat tires, the broken fan belts, all these things.
Yeah.
So many, and side musicians, and with the money that it costs, the expenses to go in to collect that. So there's a big difference between gross and net.
Oh, yeah.
So it might be tempting to say, hey, let's work out a deal on the net. But then even that's problematic in the sense of, see, I don't know, some artists might develop devil horns and say, hey, if we just eat everything up on expenses, then there's hardly anything left for commissions. It's brilliant. Well, the deal is they forget the part about there's no money left. But so see, managers would want to be very interested in limiting those expenses.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, they're usually in the music town. They're not necessarily out on the road with the artist. It's not. They need to be a force multiplier. They need to be in the music town, having the meetings, having the relationships, doing the thing. How you doing out there? They'll call and say, okay. So they're not enjoying the Learjets and the things that really, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
4 hotel rooms. How about the whole floor, kind of thing? And so they would want to put limits on the expenses. But here's the deal: as an artist, do you really want your manager to have line item veto power on how you spend your money? I mean, that's problematic.
Yeah.
And manager, you want to be worried about different things. I can make this scenario. Manager comes in the dressing room. All right, come here. All right, look at the deli tray. All right, what is this? Is this a real Ritz? Is this real Ritz? Forget that. Write this down.
Yeah.
Okay, generic Kracker for you. Moving on. Whatever, right? Where are you staying tonight? Holiday Inn. Red Roof Inn. Write that down. We don't want that, and neither would the manager. So a solution that's been come to is, okay, if we do a deal off the net, then we're just going to agree on a certain percentage of the gross, negotiate that. And so we're just going to, hey, have a ball. Artists, you can throw that percentage of the gross at your expenses, and I'll commission after that. That make sense?
Yep.
I mean, and there's...
But then it's so complicated at that point.
It gets, yeah, and it typically, you know, it depends on the leverage differential between the manager and the artist.
Right.
You know, and the new artist, you know, we don't have the leverage to be able to do that. And plus, the manager, the experienced manager, is taking a big risk. So
now, when Elvis's manager was taking 50%, was that off of the gross or the net?
Well, I mean, that's what's rumored and what's been said. You know, 50%. You know, that relationship is really, I think, one of the benchmarks about how modern management and deals and things look, because the pendulum, that was just too much, pendulum swings too much. Manager and artist can't just be like Forrest Gump and Bubba, 50-50 down the middle, because those percentages are just too high to keep it going. They really are. It's just, and now you'd probably be slapped with an unconscionable contract. But that's what rumored to have said, right? In interviews that we've heard, when this Colonel Tom Parker, how could you take 50% of everything Elvis made? And according to some sources, he looks right back and goes, well, Elvis took 50% I ever made. And I'm like, huh. So, yeah, that's just too much. What we see in the music business at large, on the business side, we'll see 15, 20%, a lot, and in a lot of different ways. We see that in publishing splits a lot of times with sub-publishing things. And why? Why do we keep seeing these same numbers? Because, the pendulum, to go back to my chemistry training, you ever fill a pipette with something? It's not flat across there. It's a meniscus. Well, the pendulum swings, and it centers on these 15%, sometimes 20%. Because those work. What those percentages represent is it's worth it for somebody to pay to have the thing done, and it's worth for the person doing the thing to do the thing.
Yeah.
And that works. And so that's what we see over and over.
So on that analogy that you just described, with an agent taking 10%, knowing that financially in the industry right now, touring is so lucrative, or it can be very lucrative, should agents be taking a little bit more than 10% these days?
Let's keep our voices down, shall we?
We'll cut that part out.
No, you know what? I'll just say we owe so much to our agents, and particular agent Steve Laster at Reliant. We've been with him for years and years. We were with CAA for years and years in the beginning, in the big heyday in the 90s. And that's a very, very important relationship and partnership. You need an agent that knows their territories, knows your genre, knows the size rooms, and has the relationships with them, stick their neck out for you and get you in there. So they're doing a lot. I think though, if agents do start asking for more, which I'm not saying it might not, the math just might start getting out of whack. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, because they might have to do that pros and cons where they start losing artists, especially like an established act. Might be able to go, what? The difference between 10 and 15% is really a lot. That's a lot of gas. Yeah. Especially if you're talking an arena-sized act or something. So I don't know. That's something to maybe discuss and debate. I think, it's always what is the service I'm providing? What is that worth? What differentiates me? What makes me able to ask for more? If I do ask for more, what are the repercussions from that? Yeah. Will I gain more acts than I will lose? Will I get more clout? It's a calculus, that I haven't quite done yet.
Yeah, I can't do that math
but
either.
I'm just, but that's the typical industry standard. Yeah, is 10%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times aspiring artists and acts coming up, when they think about, I need a manager, I need an agent, you got to think, okay, if you get a manager, 15%, you get an agent, okay, now you're at 25% coming off.
Before you even get on the bus or the van or the plane or whatever it is.
This is before anything trickles to you, right?
And there's another, typically one of the later ones, team members to come on board is the business manager. Very, very important.
5%, right?
5%.
So now we stacked on another 5%.
I would say of gross, it's really more just of everything that you let them handle. Yeah. Which could include some personal things as well, But let's just keep it at 5%. Look at there. Look what we got. So we got a 15% manager, we got a 10% agent, and a 5% business manager. Yeah. 15, 10, 25. There's 30.
Now we're at 30%.
30%.
And now you have an advance that you're still paying back to the label. Yeah. It's just like, it gets a little complicated.
Well, now, fortunately, in most label situations, now that advance, that's a big deal. Yeah. Most of the lawyering in the back and the forth on especially major label contracts is about that advance, because listen, that might be not only the biggest chunk of change that artist has ever seen in any one place in their life to that point, but it might be the only money that they see from that deal.
Yeah.
For a long time, maybe even ever.
Right.
So it's very, very important. You know, it's a big deal. But fortunately, to play label, you know, to see it from the label standpoint, fortunately, it is recoupable. It's not like we're having to write a check every month,
Right.
like we would with a bank loan. If you could even qualify for a bank loan, I don't think so, or something like that. And they have this habit of charging interest and all of that. So of the sources of funding, I mean, that's why we consider partner management. When is it time to partner with? So we can have access to resources. And, you know, there's a reason why the majors are still around.
Yeah.
And the big, look, I love indies and I love what they're doing, you know. But it's tough when your competition and most of them are publicly traded companies.
Yeah.
And they have products divisions and all this kind of stuff that they can lean on, and other networks and things. You know, some labels have the ability to put you on a national news program as a news item that other labels don't. I'll let you figure that out. And like I say, others have products divisions that are making billions, and so they can take some, you know, maybe take some risks creatively, knowing that we can. You know, we're not going to take a complete path, whereas the indie, man, we're living and dying by everything that we do. So it's a big decision. So one of the reasons why we want to partner with a label is to have access to their, not only their expertise, but their pockets. Come on, they've got more. You're not going to be able to outspend Sony. I just don't think so. From your futon. Now you're going to try your best, and you're going to social media market yourself, and you're going to do everything that you can, and that's what I suggest.
Yeah.
To the folks out there, here's the secret. You want a record deal? You want a major label record deal? Then do everything in your power not to need one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard, but you know, they're going to want to see an audience. You build that audience. You find your niche. You find your people, and then you start to make some noise, and who'll come calling? More. It's more likely.
Yeah.
That who will come calling.
The artist who has the opportunity to partner with a major label, you just tapped into resources.
Yes.
The futon artist needs to be resourceful.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we've either got time or we've got money.
Right.
I mean, beginning artist, we have to do everything ourselves, so it takes more time. I'm investing my time. You know how it is. We've all tried to. It's so hard to record yourself, to play yourself, to sing yourself, to produce yourself, to then mix yourself, do all the mastering, and then be your marketing brain trust.
And do it all without any bias.
And do without. I know. Well, you know what? I'm just horrible. I don't know. I blame it on Mama, who said, you know, you don't toot your own horn now, you know, because but you've got to. I mean, you've got to be shameless about your self-promotion. You've got to take it all the way to tacky and like back it off a little, you know, and it's so hard. Let's go back to the recording. There's a reason why the producer role exists, and why the engineer role exists, and why the musician and all of that, because they're all listening with different ears. Okay?
And with those roles comes taste.
Yes.
Which is acquired.
Yes.
Over time. And
so we, in the who we're going to work with hiring process, sort of use that as a filter. Like whose sound would make us, you know, it really fits us, or who's, you know, we can use that because choice of producers is a big deal.
Yeah.
Choice of musicians on a project, big deal. But they all have different roles. I mean, it's like the engineer is listening, yes, to the quality of the recording, but how clean it is. It's like, did I get the punch? Did I get in? Did I get out? You know, whether it pops, snaps. It's just very important, too, listening with those kind of ears. The producer is listening to, do I believe a word they just sang?
Yeah.
Is that do we need another one? 3 more for me. You know, they're trying to, man, a producer, you got to be, You got to be a cheerleader. You got to be a
Therapist.
Exorcist, maybe, whatever it takes to get the performance on the other side of that glass.
Yeah.
And then the mastering engineer listens with different ears. You get what I'm saying, And so it's so hard to do everything yourself. But in the beginning, we've got to.
Yeah.
And so I think we've either got money or time. Where's the money come in? Look, I need to hire. I need the real studio with the real thing, with the real engineers, with the real producer in my genre that knows what they're doing, at least at a level above me, and invest the money, because there's some money you can hear. You can kind of hear that money.
True.
And if I have any advice, what I would say is get the best tracks that you can. If you got to do this, spend the time, get the best tracks you can, and get those to a really good mix engineer.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it's just opinion, because you can hear that money. I mean, a really good that knows their genre and knows what's going on. Okay, and then you just A/B. Here's what's going on out there. Here's mine. Here's what's going on there. Here's mine.
Yeah.
And because you can hear that money, you can hear that money a lot. Because look, it's so hard. I mean, if we had all these talents, and I tell my students at Belmont this all the time, there's different skill sets amongst the different people in the industry.
Yeah.
Artist managers need different skill sets than the artists do. And because it's what it's really like, artist management and artist is like a three-legged race. Have you ever seen that? Like, kind of hilarious. You see it at the park or gym class. The partners, you partner up, you put a leg in, and ready, go. And it's all clunky, and it's funny, and people face plant. But that's really what it is. You're dependent on each other. But if you notice, you're not putting the same leg in. You're putting the opposite. You're putting what the other one needs. And so the artist, talent, yes, we hope so. Passion, emotion, the burning desire to speak to and for their audience and all those things. But along with that comes being an emotional person and making decisions emotionally and based only on emotion. And most artists are really bad about time management. And, come on, and usually late to a lot of things. And, come on, I'm not too broad a brush, but you get the idea. Yeah. Well, heaven forbid that they be managed by a person with the same attributes or skill sets. Somebody's got to bring the time management. Somebody's got to bring the organization. Somebody's got to bring the business acumen. Somebody's got to bring the more logical, hey, take a step back and make a decision more business-like, than just on raw emotion. Those kinds of things. And so that's why artists and managers need each other. And not only that, even if you have both of those attributes in one person, doing your managey stuff is gonna eke into your creative stuff, and you won't be able to do it all. And so that's why the different roles exist and why they need each other so bad.
I've really been enjoying this conversation. I'm going to hit you with one more to be mindful of your time. Let's say a new band just pulled in to Nashville. What are the first three things they should be doing?
Beginning band?
Yeah.
Middle band? Band that
just driven, hungry, just pulled into town.
Eating ramen. Steaming ramen and dreaming. Well, I would try to meet and talk. First off, I would hope I would come to town having done some homework. As a band, who are we? What do we sound like? Who are my favorite artists? Who would I? And get those list of names. Now, it might be hard to get a meeting with them, but at least do some homework. Get to town. Go to, I would take advantage of the PROs, ASCAP, CSAC, BMI, and their resources. NSAI, Nashville Songwriting Association International, who will talk. But mostly it's like do some homework before you get here. And I would be respectful of the history that is here, and not come into town like, oh, I'm gonna be the, I hope to be a link in this chain. I hope to and to know, have a knowledge of what has come before. How do you know you're new? I want to say to new folks that come to town, hey, we're new, we're fresh, we're different. How do you know if you don't know what's come before you?
Yeah.
Nashville, even LA, but Nashville especially is very historic. Now, we got to make new music. We want to make our mark. If we were coming to town today, I'd be like, man, who'll take a meeting with us? Who can we get? How far up the food chain can we get? Do some homework before we get here. Don't just, I think maybe in the 70s, you hear the stories of somebody that pulls into town and the bus broke down in front of, RCA, and they went in there and said, we need somebody to sing on this, or some miraculous story. I don't know if that's the case, but I don't know. I would say bring your passion, bring your chops, bring your sleeves already rolled up, and know that you're about to be in for the ride of your life and the hard work of your life.
Yeah.
There is no pixie dust in this business. There's no, pixie dust? No.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's like the residue of hard work, like sawdust on the floor.
Yeah.
There's no secret handshake. But start making our relationships, and hopefully we can start making, I'd say make a bunch of short trips
Before you
make the big long one.
Mm-hmm.
And like a scouting, like a board scout, because I know a lot of people come here, they try to get it all done. I'm going to get discovered in a week or 4 days or however long of money I've got. And that's just so hard to do.
Yeah.
But try to make some relationships with some Nashville-based people before you get here. But just, man, bring your passion, but also keep your head on your shoulders. And don't allow your emotion, your overwhelming desire to be well-known or to be famous. Or what is that anyway? Fame is a moving target. It changes. But to come, I would think, with the attitude of, if I can make a living doing what I love, with the music that I love, with people that I love being with, and have people love what I do, then I'm rich.
Yeah. That's the dream right there.
Rich is being able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dwayne, thank you for coming in and taking some time to
Thank you.
dive into all this.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.